Hey pack leaders, this is Hino, friends around you, protecting families by protecting the pack. And thank you so much for watching this show. Today we're going to talk about how to get out and exit your position. Now, and that's more like how to get out Hian's way. Alright, so I've been struggling on knowing when to get out a lot. I'm like, hey, I see profit, but is there more? I know I want more, but I don't know. I do it now, and then once it goes up, oh, maybe there's even more, and then all of a sudden, oh man, I missed it. It's gone. Maybe it'll come back. Oh no, I'm losing. Oh, this sucks. So I came up with this little step ups, and it's not like a step up system, but just this is just how I do it, and it's just nothing new. It's called laddering up your exits, I guess. So let's go ahead and switch over, and we'll show you how to use the Fibonacci's and how I kind of determine what levels. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over. All right, so here on last night I got into a position around 114 here. I kind of placed my limit order, went to bed, and it pumped down. I saw that it was a all these hair flicks down here. I was like, yeah, maybe there's probably like one more, and then I don't know where it's gonna break out, but it broke up. Okay, so I got in around 114, but when I saw it went around 110, I was like, oh man, I need to take a look at this. So what I did was I placed, I was at 10x leverage, and I would have gotten liquidated around 106 or something like that. No, 103. At 103, I would have been liquidated like right around. Yeah. So I had some room, but I wanted to make sure that I don't get liquidated. So what I did was I placed another buy order down here at 105, just so that if it goes further, I'll buy another position. I had 60,000 here, and I would buy another 60,000 down here, and that would push my stop further down. And I think that works a lot better than kind of deleveraging and going to cross leverage. But you have to buy in. But thing is, it's just like if you run out of money by the time it keeps going, then you're kind of screwed. But it does push it down further and further out. Okay, I've done it effectively for 2 or maybe possibly 3 pumps downwards, and somehow it barely flicked me. It crossed the line, but it didn't liquidate me for some reason on Bitcoin at one point. So it does work. It's just kind of like how much can you go kind of thing. Okay, so anyways, how do you use Fibonacci? So what I want to do is make sure that you know where it is. It's like right here, right below the line, and it's this fib retracement. Okay, I placed a little star so I can have a little shortcut that pops up, and I can just use my shortcut every time. And the thing is just to be consistent on how you place them, and you're always going forward the way I do it. And I don't think there's an actual video out there that I haven't looked to see if there's anyone teaching how to use Fibonacci's. But I always go from the previous segment from when this went down, and I want to know how much I need to sell up. So I'll kind of look back, and it used to be here. This is the last highest flick. Then I'll pull that flick all the way down to where the flick ends, and I believe that was that. Yeah, one a little bit over 110, 110.4 is where the flick ends. Okay. And so I kind of aimed like, hey, around 1.618 is where I would kind of say it's kind of probably going to end, okay? But what I did, okay, was put some stops along the way. So there's also one here. Where is it? Wait a minute. I'm going to readjust. I see there's one more here. I think that's where I found the last green pump. So let me move this down just a little bit here. So when I find the last green to the last red, and then the top of the green to the bottom of the red, and that's kind of how I would go about it. Okay. All right. So what I did was I went from 114 right there, and it kind of finally came back, and then I would sell at these levels. Usually half of my position, 50%, I would probably go about $2. So I think I sold one at 116 level, and I dumped half of this. Let me put a little note here. 30%. So I sold 30,000 right off the bat. How do I do this? Not sure how to use my. I've actually never used my text. Alright, now you got okay, there you go. Skip. So I sold my 30,000 there, and I bought at 60,000 there. Yeah, and then when I went up to like 18 every $2, I would sell right there. Sell another 10,000. Oops. Okay, and I try not to hit right at the line, use a little before, either halfway and a little halfway afterwards. And then my next target was 122. Actually, I think it was 120, I believe. I don't remember, but I think it was 18, yeah, about 120-ish. So I probably placed it right around here. 120. I think I probably may or may not have gotten in. I don't know, because I actually made a mistake. And I'll talk to you about that mistake in a little bit. So I had already placed all these guys. And then I had one at 122 and a 124. 122. And I don't pick them right at the number. I just kind of like, some oddball number, okay? Just so that everyone likes round numbers, and that way I can get a little bit above or below. And then my other one was 124-ish. Alright, so that way I would dump usually most of my position already right at the beginning. Okay. Oh, wait, this is 118. Oh, my bad. Okay, so this is what I did. Let me move my line. 116 was my sell. Yeah, you know what? You're right. This is fine. This is right. That's good. So I had already placed this all the way up. So even though if it hit it, 2/3 of my position is already done, already sold out. And then, but if you didn't place this already, you would have missed this flick and you would not have sold. And then you'd be like, oh man, it's gonna go back up, it's gonna go back up, and you couldn't get out, And then what if it starts to turn, right? But at least 2/3 of it's already been done. And if the action to pump faster and higher and clear this out, then that would have been there. So usually now at this time, when you look at it, it cleared out 2/3. You only have 10,000 left, and you could say, hey, do I want to get out now? You could. You could just do a market order right here, or just put a limit order, just get out right here and say, hey, this is the best you can do. It's starting to consolidate in a sense, starting to come, draw a new triangle now, and you can say, hey, based on these triangles, where do I want to be? Okay. So now you can say, hey, I can maybe wait for another swing up, maybe a little bit around 119-ish. I may do another limit order, just get out and go from there. Now that's one way. Now the other thing is that I'm looking at also the big picture here of why I might be keeping this, because if I believe that this is my first pump, I think I will see a third one tomorrow, a second one tomorrow, and a third one the third day. I believe that we are doing this right here, right now. So this is the first pump, right? And it's gonna maybe come back down 2 and 3. And why do I think that? There's a somewhat of a pattern that I've kind of been following here. I believe it was something here. I think it's further back. Okay, so I kind of I think I either believe I got this one and moved it, because this kind of looked the same. Right here, boom, pump, 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 and then dump, right? And so I had a reason somewhere. I pulled this out somewhere. What was it? Was it here? Yeah, I think it was here. And I was like, this looks like a repeat, but it was slightly different. Okay, And my other reasoning is that the hair flicks are done. Okay, so I had 3 hair flicks, right? So when I saw 3 hair flicks, I know it's gonna reverse, and so it reversed. That's the first hair flick, but I usually see 2 or 3 of them before it actually reversed the other direction. So I believe this is still gonna go up and flick 2, and then flick a 3rd one. Okay, then it's kind of done for this segment. Okay, now depending how high it goes, if it goes higher, then I might include this into this line. So there's 1, 2, and 3 here, and then maybe it'll start to come down around the 124 level. Okay, so my projection is something along the lines of this. Okay, and all these are more like flicks. Okay, you might see some flicks here, you got the flick here, and after about the 3rd flick, then start to see around here, I believe that it'll start to come down. Okay, alright, so go from there. Don't keep switching your stuff, and that's how I would kind of play this. Now if I don't believe that this will go here because of whatever patterns I see on this side, then I would probably say, hey, it's gone halfway, this is pretty good, it's done, I think it's going to reverse now, let's go ahead and sell and get out. Okay, so it's kind of a combination of where you guess is going to go based on more complex patterns, because we usually look at triangle and wedges, but you know, if we kind of expand our mind and zoom out a little bit and kind of find a similar pattern, and if it's playing out or not, we can then kind of see where it might be going. Okay, also let's kind of zoom out too, let's kind of look at the bigger pattern. Let's see if I can do this. Alright, so I kind of see these 2 lines down here. We might have a line that is now going there. Yep. So there might be a level down here that it might come down to, or another level up here. Okay, it gets a little more confusing to look at, I know. I get it. But my guess is it's gonna go up. Okay? That's why I'm gonna keep it there. Alright, so then after it goes up, let's go kind of, do another Fibonacci here. Just kind of be consistent with the Fibonacci stuff. And I'm going to delete my Fibonacci because it does get crowded when I use too many of them over time. Okay, so now, alright, so I'm going to go from the bottom of this to the top of that, so you can see how high this would probably go. Okay, and usually depending if it's like really growing or not, you can kind of see this will probably go up to maybe 0.68, maybe around 119. Okay, so usually Fibonacci is 0.168 right there, so it might go up to this level right there, and then start to come back down, and maybe go back up again. Okay, so this is where if you had gotten in here, you'd probably say, hey, maybe this is where I would sell, depending on how far of a move it's gonna make. Okay, alright, cool. So hopefully that's helped. I always make sure I go forward. Okay, I don't do this. This will be, in my sense, in my theory, would be wrong. Is if you always go forward to kind of determine what's going to happen next on the forward Fibonacci. So let me show you the wrong way in my own book, and this is just my own rule because I don't have any formal Fibonacci training. I just make sure I stay consistent. But let's say you want to go here, right? But how far it's going to go, but then you kind of go this way and maybe you pull it down to this bottom green part, and now you're pulling backwards. Okay, then I believe that is wrong. Okay, because you're trying to figure something weird out on the other side, and it's not being consistent of being pulling forward. So if I would pull forward, you can grab this, or I'm not sure whether, I think I'll probably grab this. But let's see how to grab this. 168, yeah. Let me kind of make sure I stay consistent here. So you kind of do back test it to make sure if things are being consistent. And some do rise above the 1.6 to the 2 point whatever, and some even go past the 4. Okay, but just make sure you start from behind and pull forward and down. Behind, pull forward down to the lowest part, and then around the 1.618 or even the 1 or the 1.618. Even these lines, you could probably start to put, you know, sell orders or orders to get you out, exit orders along the way. So you bought in here, so you probably put an order here, put an order here, put an order here, and usually probably on 6-8, depending on how strong it is, it might start to reverse again. Okay. All right, so hopefully that helps. There is no crypto school university. There's no standard. It's just more of observing how it's moving and kind of keeping a standard and making things consistent. And I always pull from back to forward and then watch it go. If it never broke above the 1 to 1.168, then all right, it's still kind of, you know, going sideways a little bit. But usually after a pump down, it usually goes way past the 1.68 with lots of energy pumping up. And yeah, so I think that's it for now. I had some other examples too with OneNote. I think I had talked about it here. So let me pull this out. I think I want to show more examples. Okay, here. So I started making notes here, and I believe this is the rising line doji breakouts. Okay. See how I kind of did the same back forward, but you see that each and every one of these pumped way above 1.168, and it gets to a point where after every single pump it starts to slow down, and that kind of gives you an indication that it's cooling off and that it's going to reverse. I'm trying to get a better picture here. Here. Yeah, right here. Okay, so see here I circled here. After I retrace back, the line pumps way up to 1.68, and I retrace back. I mean, from the top to bottom, 1.168, and broke it again, broke that line. And then on the fourth time, 1.168, it did not. Actually, no, it did. 1, 2, 3, and then from that one down to the bottom, over here, it did not pass the 1.168. It just barely passed the number 1. Okay, so then that's when it started to cool down. Okay, so that's what I've noticed, whether or not it's gonna keep going. So in that case, what if I go ahead and apply that? So it did. Okay, 1.168. Boom, boom, and it did surpass it. So if I go from here and here, and if this green does not pass 1.168 tomorrow, then it's going to be done. We can then sell. So it should continue green starting tomorrow and go all the way past. If you start to see it turn red and it's not passing, it's lost steam, let's then start to sell out the rest of the remaining one wherever it starts to turn red. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. Hope that helps. It's a little bit of a long video. Put your comments below. If you have any questions, subscribe to our channel to hear more of our trading notes, and then you can go from there. All right, thank you. We have a Discord group also. I also post some more analysis, trading notes, and my updates. I haven't been doing it for the past week since I've given myself a personal 1 week maternity leave for our newborn son, and I finally caught up with some sleep. The first week was pretty rough, but we're here. So thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.